Data Club Podcast.
The first ESCP Big Data podcast of the year. Today, I'm stoked to be here with Romeo, a former ESCP Big Data and Business Analytics student and current Amazon data engineer. But before we get our hands dirty, let's make a few introductions. So what is the Big Data Club? The Big Data Club is an ESCP student association which was founded in 2017 by the first cohort of the master students in business analytics. The aim of the Big Data Club is to be a bridge between data-driven students and alumni and working professionals working in data-oriented positions. The Big Data Club organizes high-quality conferences, talks, and workshops with industry leaders, academic experts, and startups to create a strong cross-border network. Today, we'll be speaking to an interesting guest about his career path, his studies, and how his master's in big data at ESCP led him to be where he currently is. A big welcome to Romeo. It's a pleasure to have you today. Can you please introduce yourself in a few words?
Cool. Thank you, Giovanni, for the introduction. So I'm Romeo. I'm a former student from the Master in Big Data and Business Analytics from ESCP from the cohort of 2020. As you mentioned, I'm a data engineer at Amazon. I've been working in the company for the past year and a half. I was previously an intern as a business intelligence engineer. And yeah, I'll be here today to basically answer a few questions for the students of the masters and hopefully bring you some clarity about what it's like to be a data engineer at Amazon.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Because as you know, we're now looking for internships, the current cohort, and Amazon always is a company that interests all of us. So we're very keen to learn more from you. So I would start things off talking about the job and the position in particular. So what's your actual position? We hear data engineer so often, but what does it actually mean? What are the good things and what are the bad things about the job?
Yes, sure. So concretely, being a data engineer at Amazon, it's about very simple approach, making sure that the data gets delivered to our customer, who can be a data analyst, financial analyst, business intelligence engineers, or data scientist, for instance. And we have to do that in a timely manner so they can serve business requirements as fast as possible. I would say that a data engineer has to make systems that are robust, scalable, highly available, maintainable, and cost efficient. And yeah, all in all, try to design using best engineering practices, always to serve our customer and make sure that they can analyze the data in a proper way.
That's very cool. And what kind of data are you working with? Are you working with data from the Amazon marketplace, from the regular Amazon data of purchases all of us make, or are you supporting a particular business of Amazon?
So overall, I'm working for worldwide Amazon store finance. So we're dealing with, I would say, data which is related to, for instance, units that are being shipped throughout Europe or that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't want to get into the very nitty-gritty of the data that we're dealing with, but yeah, it's mostly financial data that we're handling. And yeah, as I was saying, it's handled by a financial analyst. So to do forecasting, for instance, or production planning, and that kind of stuff, which is kind of very niche, and I couldn't really say how they're doing their job because it requires like specific business knowledge that I don't have regarding that.
But that's great because it leads us to the next questions which we want to know, which is, in your opinion, what are the most important qualities linked to the position? As in, are there some technical skills that are particularly required for the position, like Python, learning how to work on the cloud, Power BI, or what are the technical skills?
Yes, sure. So yeah, technical skills. I would say before anything, I would say just being curious and willing to learn a lot regarding technical skills is
Mhm.
definitely a must because the data engineering field is evolving every day. Like, I don't know if you're following, for instance, AWS reInvent events, but
Yes.
yeah, every year you get a ton of announcement, and keeping up with the pace is quite hard. But I
Mm.
would say it's super important to make sure that you're learning how to design solution before diving super deep and without any clue in Python or SQL or whatever programming language that you want to use. It's about articulating what you're trying to achieve for your customer, and yeah, make sure to read documentation, watch videos, do proof of concept and side projects for students eventually,
Mm-hmm.
and document what you're doing because it's super important to just have this materialized knowledge somewhere. But yeah, as you mentioned, when I was applying for BIE internship, for instance,
Yes.
I was practicing Python, SQL mostly because SQL is yeah bread and butter at Amazon. It's super important.
Right.
And throughout the classes that we had at ESCP, we were doing a bit of Tableau, and you can also practice Power BI if you want. But
Mhm.
yeah, mostly I would say try to yeah first build some fundamental knowledge about designing, and then of course going to the nitty-gritty of programming languages. So it can be Python, Java, TypeScript, yeah, whatever you want. Um, I would say also, in addition to that, probably time management is pretty important at Amazon, because when you switch, especially from internship to full time, you're basically expected to have this kind of yeah time management and project management dimension pretty clear in your mind, and
Mhm.
that's not always easy, I would say, but yeah, that's definitely important too. I just wanted to maybe go just a tiny bit deeper about the technical skills that you mentioned previously, especially regarding cloud, for instance, because yeah, cloud is of the uttermost importance, especially if you're targeting some jobs such as data engineering. You cannot work without cloud computing these days. So yeah, I would say probably focus on yeah AWS, for instance, or
Okay.
Azure or Google Cloud. Maybe try to get certificates or just do some online classes. I know that AWS provides some free certificates about object stores, for instance, or that kind of stuff. But
Okay.
I would also say if you're targeting data engineering, uh, data modeling, data warehousing, all the concepts revolving around ETLs are important. And also, yeah, as I was saying, performance optimization on database, for instance, designing techniques. Yeah, it's definitely something to have. And a plus is also to have, for instance, distributed systems,
Yes.
know about event-based architecture and not time-based architecture, which is event-based architecture is yeah just the fact to have just let's say a signal that is going to trigger some events and trigger an ETL, for instance, based on I don't know some streaming of data arriving into as an input. And yeah, finally, data streaming is also very nice to have. It's a super cool topic that I'm yeah currently learning and trying to grasp.
Okay.
Um,
Which, well, this is interesting because you said it's particularly important to time manage at Amazon. But we want to know more about the company. It's so famous in our mind. We keep talking about Amazon all the time, especially in the business. You know,
mhm.
it's one of the giants. And so, how is in general, how is the business atmosphere? Is it great? Is the company particularly different from other companies?
Mhm. Yes, so regarding the company itself, so the the business atmosphere. So as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I really enjoy the business atmosphere. I'm in a pretty cool team. We get great work-life balance, and yeah, my manager is really dedicated to making her team grow. So that's something that I really appreciate. So yeah, she's going the extra mile for her team, making sure that we're learning a lot, and at the same time making sure we bring value for the team. Yeah,
Because most people don't know, but you're based in Luxembourg, right?
exactly. Yep,
Okay.
it's been yep.
And you said, you talked a lot about technical skills, and we're going to drift off the script a little bit.
Hmm.
But all those technical skills, it's quite obvious that many people in our course are coming from a business background.
Hmm.
So the master in big data will definitely enrich them with some skills, but they're not going to know everything extremely well when they graduate and start working for Amazon. So does the company and does the team push you to learn more by yourself? Do you have some sort of support? Is it okay not to be excellent at everything? As long
Hmm.
as you're curious and you have those soft skills that the company expects.
Yeah. Um, so definitely, as you said, like out of the masters, since you have a business background, yeah, you're not supposed to be yeah the to be knowing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Amazon, they know that like when they're training an intern, like they're going to leave you time to dive deep, well, for on your own, but you always have the support from your managers and colleagues, which is super cool. And Amazon has internal documentation, and they have this is a substantial source of knowledge. Like you get so many wikis, so
Okay.
many good documentation that you can refer to that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you're always learning something new every day, which is something which is super nice because like every day you're getting at least 1% better than you were the day before. So it's completely fine not to arrive within the company and I don't know as an intern, for instance, as a BIE intern. I wasn't really aware about, I wasn't very good, I would say, in data modeling or data warehousing. So
Mm-hmm.
I've heard like about the concept of data warehousing. I've watched a few videos about it, but of course, until you've practiced in a company that has, well, huge amount of data to deal with, you're not going to be that good. Like when you arrive at Amazon, it's literally, okay, you're not in Kansas anymore. So what can I do? Because for instance, something that surprised me was out of the masters, it was like, okay, for instance, I'm pretty good at Python or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
always in the bubble of the project that you're going to be given. If you're doing, for instance, the data camp or that kind of stuff, you can solve a problem. Then you arrive at Amazon and you get the real life constraint that you could get. So
Yeah.
whether it's security reason, scale of the data, or whatever. But you shouldn't be worrying about that because, as I was mentioning, they're pretty good at training
Mm-hmm.
and they leave you the time to learn. But of course, you have to push for it. Like you're the owner of your learning path, and they
Mm-hmm.
have a leadership principle, which is learn and be curious, and ownership also. And so, yeah, you have to own your learning path.
Okay, that's very interesting. I think it matches well with something that's technical, like what we're doing. I find that most of the things we learn, there's a lot of work that you have to do on your own. Uh,
Hmm.
and so I think that makes perfect sense. Um, well, so the next question is about the recruitment process. You mentioned you have done an internship, and that's where most of the learning has happened, or maybe not most of the learning, but the largest part. I mean, the more difficult part. Is that correct?
Um, So I mean, the expectation as an intern and as a full-time are completely different. But yeah, definitely just getting acquainted with the sheer scale of Amazon, for instance, and how people are interacting and what are the internal tools being used it can be a bit disruptive. And of course, if you're doing a 6 months internship, you can learn a lot, but you won't be able to grasp all the internal tools that are available for, let's say, a business intelligence engineer. Like there's just too much. So it can be a bit hard. But then I would say when you switch to full time, you realize the full potential of all the internal tools that you have, whether it's internally or public cloud such as AWS. And I would say it's even harder when you switch to full time to into the concept and into the tool.
Okay, thank you for that. So now we get to the big $1 million question. So what advice would you give to someone willing to work at your company, as so many of our students want to?
So yeah, is it going to be the $1 million answer? I don't know, but let's try. So I would say first and foremost, if you're aiming for an internship at Amazon, it's like of the uttermost importance to be completely fluent in their leadership principle. Like you can go online and they're publicly available on the Amazon website. You have to just read them, try to understand what they mean, what's their deep sense, trying to articulate what you've been doing like professionally before with those leadership principle. Try to demonstrate, just demonstrate that you've used them in the past, and first of all, it's good to see if you're fit for the company and if you'd like to work for Amazon. And then it's pretty good just to have a self-reflection on your overall career as a young graduate. Leadership principle, super important. I would say reach out to campus recruiter for information regarding FAQs, maybe just some tips regarding recruiting, how it's done. For instance, I had a chat with an Amazon recruiter when I was at ESCP. She gave me meeting links where I could attend basically some FAQs for young graduates that were willing to join Amazon. I would say then identify always if you feel like working for Amazon and you have a good fit on the leadership principle. Identify a small subset of job offers that you would like to apply. Like don't apply for 10 jobs. I'm not sure it's going to be very efficient.
Yes.
Then prepare for the technical interviews. So here for the technical interviews, I would really look into the job description. Maybe go online and try to see, for instance, what a data scientist would be doing at Amazon. What's the required skill for a business intelligence engineer, that kind of stuff. And I would say that's kind of it. But something which is pretty, I would say, transversal to most jobs, most tech jobs at least, and even some non-tech jobs such as supply chain analyst or that kind of stuff, is learn SQL. Like learn SQL, learn SQL, learn SQL. Yeah, that's kind of it.
Okay, but what do you mean exactly by the leadership principle? I think not many people are familiar with it. Can you?
Yeah, sure.
A little bit give an example.
Yep, definitely. And I can actually share with you a link at the end of the podcast so people can refer to it. So leadership principle, it's like, well, it's self-explicit, like leadership principle are the kind of everyday tenets that Amazonians are using to drive technical business decisions, and just overall to create projects at Amazon. So it's a list of, as I said, I think 14 or 16. I think it was increased to 16. I'm not sure anymore, but that's all right. So it's just, let's say, for instance, we have one leadership principle, which is customer obsession. So Amazon is like a customer-centric company. They will do everything to just earn the customer's trust and make sure that the customer is happy in the end. And this is one of the leadership principles that we'll be using when designing a technical solution, for instance. Okay, is the customer going to be happy about this specific solution? Does it deliver everything which is of the features that are important to the customer?
I
Another example, just to give you more context, could be frugality. So Amazon has frugality as a leadership principle. So
Mhm.
we are always trying to kind of accomplish more with less. So for instance, when I'm designing a solution, I'm going to be, okay, what's the more efficient and frugal solution to deliver those results? Because yeah, I'm not going to score like extra points for spending $50,000 on AWS versus spending a $50 on AWS. So yeah, that's
that's
overall all the concepts that we use to make decision at Amazon.
that's very interesting. So it's sort of like a checklist, just making sure that whatever you do is in line with the company's principles.
Exactly.
Wow, very, very nice. And as for the more of the practical stuff of being able to work at Amazon, did you, when you applied, have already a few internships? Do you think they value experience a lot? Also, what about grades? Or do they look at your grades? How important are those?
Mhm. Um, So yeah, you mentioned past experience. So yeah, past experiences are important, I would say, because you need to show, how would you say, that you're relevant and you got consistency in your professional path. But overall, they're important just to again demonstrate that you have those leadership principle,
Mhm.
and that you've demonstrated those leadership principle uh, during your professional experiences.
Oh,
So
yeah.
of course, it's always better if you're applying for a data scientist position to have a previous experience in a data related field. That's for sure, especially for the CV screening, which is going to be occurring. Well, I think this is always the first step in recruitment, no
Mhm.
matter what's the company. But yeah, definitely those experiences are important, and as long as you can demonstrate that you get those leadership principles, that's yeah, it's essential part, I would say. At least this is how I perceived the interview process. Yeah, I'm not saying that's the how the recruitment process work at Amazon, but I feel like this is what happened at least for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Regarding grades, so I wasn't uh, honestly, I haven't put my GPA or whatever on my resume when I applied for Amazon.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I really can tell. I don't have the question regarding that, but yeah, I guess as long as you're, yeah, no, I don't know. To be honest, I don't
Not,
know about that.
yes, just not on your experience since you're there now and you didn't put your GPA. You can.
No, 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 yeah. I haven't, at least I, among colleagues or former students from ESCP who are also working for Amazon, I haven't had any yeah, any stories, any anecdotes about GPAs that were mentioned during the interview process.
Okay. Okay, cool. And now the last topic we want to cover is the link between the course and the job. So,
Hmm.
what courses do you think were most interesting? Did you pick some courses in particular because you knew you wanted to have such a position? And what courses did you find less useful for the job you're doing now?
Hmm. Um, so I would say the yeah, the course that should have helped me the most, and I'm saying should because I should have been probably working harder and diving deeper into that class, was the one about data modeling.
Okay.
Um, that was given by Weizu, if I recall correctly. Because yeah, this is something which is tremendously important when you're dealing, for instance, with just databases or just simple SQL statements that involve dimensional data and fact data,
Mhm.
and even yeah, just data warehousing in general. So yeah, data modeling was super important. But overall, I would say the classes, if I can call that classes, that I love the most were the hackathon. So yeah, I really like
Okay.
collaborative part about the hackathon that we had. So we had one with Criteo and HDI, if I recall correctly.
Okay.
So yeah, it was pretty cool to just get the real life use cases and kind of bridge the gap between like the technical skills that we're developing and the real life use cases. So yeah, that was super interesting.
And yes,
Um,
yeah, very nice. And
yeah.
what courses did you find less useful for what you're doing now?
So I would say that for the job that I was targeting, and the kind of company that I was targeting, and just yeah, the overall career path that I want for myself, I wasn't very into accounting and financial reporting. So I wouldn't say in terms of like global usefulness, but just when applied to what I want to do with my career, this is probably the class that I wasn't really into it overall.
Okay, I see. Yes, but and you come from a business background as well, correct?
Yeah, I do, but I mean, yeah, I have a bachelor's degree in business administration and the master's degree from ESCP. But yeah, overall, I was always more attracted to by the technical side of things. But I think yeah, it's pretty good to have both technical skills and like business related knowledge. So yeah.
Agreed. So I think that is it. We are running out of time, but thank you so much for covering everything we wanted to know about the position, the company, the recruitment process, and thank you also for being so detailed on the technical skills. I think the whole cohort will appreciate this. And yeah, no, again, thank you. I just wanted to take a little moment to say to everyone who's listening to stay tuned and make sure to follow the Big Data Club on all the social media platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, to know more about the upcoming events organized by the club. Because as a matter of fact, on Wednesday, January 25th, we will hold the AI Data and Consulting event, which is a huge event with 340 participants. It's at Republic campus, and there will be a cocktail reception. There will be huge people from a lot of companies. Already we secured IBM, Accenture, Artifact. So it's a big event, and I hope everybody can join. So please follow us on our social media. And thank you very much, Romeo. I hope we can speak again soon, and have a lovely day.
Sure. Thank you, Giovanni. And yeah, for all the students of the masters, if you have any further questions whatsoever about Amazon and the recruiting process, you can add me on LinkedIn and we can definitely have a chat or organize just a group chat with a few students. So yeah, thanks again, Giovanni, and talk to you soon.
Talk soon.